my experience talking to insurers about these challenges have highlighted a handful of pain points, which were, they were in there. I mean, one is everything, especially on the, large commercial lines, like you pointed out, everything's super bespoke, right? And so, if you wanted to automate this process, right, that means you have to read the email, and emails, I've told people this, email is like the most unstructured of all of the unstructured data, because you can say whatever you want. You don't have to stick to any kind of template. You can attach anything you want, including more emails to the email. And those things may have attachments. It's this huge nested, crazy data structure. But anyway, you have to read the email. You have to figure out what someone's asking. Do they identify the coverages that they want? Do they reference documents? Are those documents referenced, then attached? And you have to go find those things. And you have to pull out, like, it might be an accord form, right? So you have to pull out all of the infinite detail that's in, like, an accord 125. Plus policies, plus, say they've attached something like a loss runs history. And you were talking about bordereaux being big tables. We have a saying in Indico R&D that there's no such thing as a table, because, people they'll dump whatever data they want, and they'll put table 1 on top of it. It's like, I'm sorry, you have like 6 levels of nesting here. This is not fair. You can't call this a table. So that's one of the pain points, is just the overwhelming amount of data and the need to be able to reference one data point like the email against the attachment that came in and tie all of that together in a bundle.
And there's the identification, right, of the data that's sitting in that unstructured, I'll even call it semi-structured input, right? And then there's ingesting it in a way that's you try to automate it in a sense so that it's not just manual entry, which takes a ton of time. Human error can happen. And then how do you make it? I talked about this on the first time we chatted about making that information usable, right? So you've got the data, you've got it usable in the sense that you pulled it out, but now how do you use it to make business decisions? How do you take all of this information and decide that you are going to underwrite this policy, that you do want to bind this policy? Like, how do you elevate that the data that's come in hits up against some processing exception that requires a deeper look or a different workflow, and just how do you make that process as efficient and accurate as possible? And that's not even. Now I'm just on a rant. So
no, stay on the soapbox as long as you want.
Yeah. That's not even getting into the how do you take the data that's coming during this process and validate that it's even correct, right? So what other third-party information are you pulling in? What system does that happen in, right? Where are those checks and balances? What are the I'll call it the pings that like alert someone that it needs a second look? And then how do you continue that workflow?